There's a lot of people that are going to give you advice along the way of starting something. When you want to start anything, there's a reason why it doesn't exist in the first place. So all of those difficult questions you need to figure out on your own. I think that the number of people that will give you advice on what direction to go, what problem to solve, there are a lot of them, and I think it's important to really be clear with yourself as to which pieces of advice should you take and from whom, and which ones should you ignore. And I think that's one of the hardest things to do when you're just starting out in building a business, is when to listen to yourself, when to take advice from others, because there will never be a shortage of people that want to tell you what they think is best, but you're really the one that's in the arena. So ultimately the decision has to be up to you.
Seeing our employees all gainfully employed and excelling in their particular careers as well. And there's nothing more exciting than patting them on the back, or when a company gets sold, you write them a check at closing, they're part of it. So for me, we'd be nothing. It has nothing to do with me. I was just maybe an idea that turned into a business, and then we just kind of ran it together. But it's really the sum of its parts. Everybody weighs in on a business and does everything that they possibly can. And when you're at that moment where it's exit time, it's the best feeling in the world. So I'd say that's probably the number one. Second one is seeing that it just seemed like a goofy idea at one point has turned into something that has a life of its own. And that's currently where we are right now with OnGuard Systems. It just never realized, or we're actually with a defense agency with it. It's just, we say to ourselves, wow, is this really how far we've gone? So it's exciting. I love every bit of it.
Being an entrepreneur is so hard. And I think this lie that there are the right people who are entrepreneurs makes it so that when we come up against a wall, we think, oh, I just don't have what it takes, or the timing's not right, or whatever it is, right? Which is just not true. Coming up against something painful and hitting a wall is actually just a challenge to be overcome. It is not the sign of a closed door. You know, we're always saying, just open the next door, right? Sometimes you really have to just slam your way through that door, or recognize it's time to just turn left or turn right. And I just really wish that I had known more that when things get hard, that's fine, and don't waste the energy questioning if this is right or wrong. Just focus your energy on, okay, now what is my next step and how can I move forward? Because hard is not a sign of failure. Hard is just part of the path.
Well, as a retired lieutenant colonel in the Air Force, and I spent 30 years in the healthcare system, I was very institutionalized with my thinking, very structured, very hierarchy. But with this entrepreneurial business and starting your own company, that goes away to the wayside. You have got to be innovative, creative. There are no boundaries. There are no rules. You've got to learn from your setbacks. You've got to take those setbacks, take those learnings, and make the product better. You build that 2.0 version, the 3.0 version. I can build something in our lab, but when I take it out to the hospital and the clinical sites, those clinicians are using that product, and they're going to give you the UI, the UX experience, and they're going to tell you what's wrong with it. So it's that failures in the point that I did not see, those blind spots that you have that you've got to learn from to make the product better so you can commercialize it and hopefully be very successful.
My number one advice is there's no perfect time. You're going to wrestle with it. You're going to think, oh, I'm not ready. I don't know if I can do this. I don't know if I'm good enough. I don't have the right education. I don't know if I have the financial means to do it. The answer is there is no good time. You just have to jump off the cliff and do it. You will figure it out. Burn the ship, I like to say. You'll figure it out. And so my advice to you is just get started somewhere. Get connected to whether it's your, startup hub, or find like-minded people like you who are motivating you. But get started and work to make a little bit of progress every day. You'll be surprised how quickly you do have all of the skills needed or the financial needs. It kind of all just starts showing up once you commit to it.